Budget fam, welcome. If you are new here, and welcome back if you are a loyal subscriber. Today we are talking about 5 budget rules that completely transformed my finances, okay? Got me out of that paycheck to paycheck cycle, got me ahead on bills, right? And these are not just tips. They are actual things that I use that help me get control of my money, okay? And actually enjoy the money. Whether you're just starting out or looking to just spice up your budgeting skills, stick around because these can change your life too. So rule number 1, okay? Rule number 1 is pay yourself first, okay? What I like to call this is save before you spend, okay? So paying yourself first is prioritizing you, okay? Prioritizing you before anything else. Before you're out here spending, before you're out here paying your bills. When you start paying yourself first, you will see your safety net grow. You will see your emergency fund grow. You will see the stress that will be falling off because you know that you have stuff set aside for you, okay? So how does this work? You need to decide on what part of how much of your income you actually want to give yourself, okay? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Prioritize you and work around the rest, okay? Again, not everything that we have in our budget needs to stay. So maybe the things that you let go of or you decrease is helping you to have that money for yourself, okay? You can also set this up as automatic transfer, okay? Where you get paid, it's automatically gone, and then you only see what's left to actually work with, and you work with that, all right? So this rule made me realize that if I didn't prioritize myself, no one else would. It also forced me to budget my lifestyle. So that made me cut back on the things that I was splurging on for no reason, okay? And then I would try to save anything that I had left over, which majority of the time was nothing. So rather than saving what was left, I saved before I spent, okay? Number two is so important. Track every dollar. Now, this is what I like to call give every dollar a job. That's all it means. Give every single dollar a job, okay? So this means that when you have money coming in, you're making sure that you know exactly where every single dollar is going. What bills is it paying for? What savings is it going to? What debt is it going to? What eating out money is being used, right? What's going towards your groceries? What's going towards your personal spending? What's going towards household? Knowing where every single dollar down to the penny goes helps to actually get in control, okay? So when you hear people say, oh man, I just got paid and I don't know where all of my money went, it's because they were not tracking every dollar. But when I started tracking every single dollar, I saw the patterns that I was creating within my money, and I figured out why I did not have any money basically by the next day after payday, right? Or right, but like 2-3 days after I went from being paid to having nothing in the account. And it's because I was not tracking. I was paying bills and then I was swiping anytime that I needed to, anytime that I wanted to, right? But when you actually track every dollar and you give every single dollar a job, then it's easier for you to say, okay, I have X amount of money to do this, and that's it. All right. And everything gets funded. We have 7 areas that need to be funded, and that is bills, expenses, debt, savings, fun, investments, and future. If you aren't funding all of those, it's because you're not being intentional and making sure that you're tracking every dollar to make sure that it goes into those categories. Okay. You can use budgeting apps. You can use spreadsheets. You can write it in a planner. You can write it on a sheet of paper. You can type it in your phone. Okay. And we want to actually be reviewing it weekly to stay on top. So keeping receipts and making sure that you jot down when you went and spent something or something came out of your account. Okay. So this rule gave me clarity, and it will give you clarity as well, because then you're going to be able to make better financial decisions. Okay. All right. Rule number 3 that helped me out, okay, is the actual budget for fun. Okay. Budget for fun. And what that means is you don't have to give up your lifestyle. If you like to do certain things, we just need to put it in the budget. Okay. For the longest time, I thought a budget was about restricting yourself. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. You had to cut out eating out. You couldn't go out. You just had to go cold turkey and just pay your bills and save money. Right. But I learned that it's actually about setting the plan. You're just making sure that your money is planned and makes sense and it's working for you and not against you. So when I started to actually give fun, which is one of the 7 areas I told you, an amount, right? I showed myself that I can still go on vacations. I can still go out. I can still eat out, right? It's not that I don't have to do these things. If I like to do it, I can. It's just going to be budgeted for, okay? So decide how much you can actually put towards your fun each month, all right? We can do it. We just don't want to overdo it. It helps with you to actually spend guilt-free because you know that it's already worked into your numbers. All right. And then I just made it a category. So make fun one of your categories, but just make sure that you don't overdo it. This rule brought me so much joy and had me still pushing forward, because then I started to understand that I did not have to just work to pay bills, to save, and that's it. I could still enjoy life. Okay. Number 4 is another big one. Okay. Review and adjust often. So I had to realize that this is not something that I was just going to do one time and it was just going to magically fall in order. Okay. But once I started to, again, put it into my routine, then I started to review and adjust often. So that way, if something were to come up and knock me off my tracks, I just adjust and I know how to keep going. Okay. So reviewing and adjusting your budget as needed is you understanding that your budget isn't set in stone. So it's just a plan that can be changed at any given time. Okay, so I just sit down and ask myself some questions like, did I stay within my budget? How much money do I still have to spend for this paycheck? What do I have left to spend for, as in like, do I have any bills coming up? Okay. Where did I overdo it? And maybe where do I need to cut back the next paycheck or the next month? Okay. So just really getting in the habit of being proactive rather than reactive about my finances. So always being in the know. And the more I practice, the better I was. Okay. So this is something that you are going to continue to practice over and over and over again. Just making sure that you are reviewing and adjusting the way that you need to. Okay. And number 5 is have different accounts. Okay. Have different accounts. What does that mean? Do not have your money mixing and mingling within each other. Okay. We want to make sure that our bills have its own account. Our spending money has its own account. Our savings has its own account. This way, we are not overspending other money that we may need. When you put all of your money in one area, it's so easy for you to spend that bill money. It's so easy for the bill not to clear right away and you think you have extra money to spend. It's so easy to just keep transferring from one to the next and back to the next. And it just makes it so easy to track your expenses and to track how much you have left to spend when it's in different accounts. All right. And even better when I actually took it out in cash. When I use cash, it helps so much. Okay. It helps me to physically see what I have going on. So having different accounts has helped me, and having different sinking funds, which is just a fancy way of saying what you're specifically saving for, putting money to the side for. Having different things like that has helped as well, because now I know when I go in there, okay, this vacation fund has $1,000. This emergency fund has $2,000. This birthday fund has $50. Like, I know what I have available for all of the things I like to do in my lifestyle. Okay. So those are the 5 that really helped me get on track and stay on track. Okay. So now it's your turn. It is your turn. I don't want you to pick one. I want you to do them all. Okay. If this video helped you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and actually share it with someone who might need a little budgeting inspiration. Okay. And if you're ready to take your finances to the next level, make sure you stick around for more days to come for Vlogmas Budget Edition 2024. As I always leave and say, y'all be budgeted, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure that you heal the past so that you are able to budget the present so that you can free your future.